Hello everyone, I'm FARMERSIM and welcome to episode 31 of the Let's Play series here on Court Farms Country Park. So I hope you're all doing well and having a nice day. Like my wheelbarrow. It's a pretty awesome little thing this, from Farmer Andy's LSFM pack. Just makes a much nicer, more realistic job of feeding my chickens. So, I think if I just tip up there. There we go. Oh no, done that one wrong, haven't I? I think the trigger point is a bit further forward. There we go, that's better. It should be about right, I think. Yeah, it's filled him up. Tipped a bit there by accident, but we'll sort that out after. But yeah, quite nice. Quite like its old patinaed look. And it was 35 quid. Cheapest thing I've ever bought on FARMERSIM, I think. But yeah, it just, for me anyway, I quite like the idea of feeding them via the wheelbarrow. It was a good idea. I think it was Carmelo Pace, one of you wonderful viewers there. Thank you very much for that, mate, who suggested this to me. I did have the mod. I've had the mod pack installed for ages, to be honest. I just didn't even cross my mind, didn't think about it. But yeah, love it. Brilliant stuff. Right, so what we got going on today? Well, we've got some tillage to run. We've got 5 fields that need cultivating. Essentially, they've all got weeds growing, visible weeds growing in them. There's no active method for how to remove those weeds at the minute. It just says weeds growing and no tool to use. So, what I can do is I'm going to run the horse cultivator and get them all essentially just scrubbed under the soil. They'll no doubt return when I run the seeder, but we're going to get rid of them anyway. And field 110, the field that's around the back of Valley View Bales there, that also has stones in that needs to be picked up. And I can't run the stone picker in that field. It won't pick the stones up in the field's current state. So I am hoping that once I run the cultivator and get that all done, then I'll be able to get the stones picked up and chuck them into the lime production machine thing here and get them turned into lime. So yeah, that's the initial plan. We are a month away from the planting window for wheat, barley, oat, canola, linseed and rye. We can currently plant canola as we did in the last episode. We've got canola running, planting in field 109 there. I think it was the last episode I did that. So we do have a field of canola growing, but yeah, we'll have the opportunity to grow wheat, barley, oat, linseed and rye come next month. And also come next month, our field of field beans should be ready to harvest as well, so I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, that's going to be the first stage of today. As I say, we've got 5 fields, just under 32 acres of land to get cultivated. So what I think I'm going to do in true FARMERSIM fashion is I'm going to squeeze them all into a bit of a montage, get them all done like that, and we'll go from there. So get the cultivator picked up. Cows are alright for food at the minute, as are the sheep and the chickens. Obviously, just top the chickens up with a little bit of barley there from the silo. Let's get this thing hooked up. I think I'll work around the fields in a kind of a clockwise order as they are on the map, so we'll go straight to field 110 first. Get those cables hooked up, get it lifted up, and get it folded up. Right, so we'll get these jobs done and I shall pick you all back up in a wee while. It's no doubt going to be a good hour or so for me, if not longer. So I'll see you all ASAP. Right, there we go. All 5 fields cultivated. And while that last field was being done, I ran the weeder in this field here, the canola field that we planted in the last episode, because even though there weren't any visible weeds, it was saying weeds were growing and that a weeder was needed to remove them. So to get that job done, got that done as well. Now, I've also been running the TW35 in field 110, picking up the stones. Now, frustratingly, I had it working at like absolute clockwork all this time, and when I want to come and demo it to you, it doesn't want to work. But essentially, I was running a course play on with the stone picker, and then using auto drive to pick itself up once it's full, drive itself round here. I'd added a bit of an auto drive section into here for it to tip, and then it would reverse back beautifully and carry on. And it's done the whole field without any interference from me. And now when I want to demo it to you, it's not working. It had the last load of stones in here, so I thought I'd leave that till now to show you. So I ran it a few seconds ago, recording a piece of footage, and it took itself into here. It tipped into here perfectly fine, and then it tried to drive its way forward and go round here and crash into this machine. So frustratingly, I don't want to show it to you when it's not working, but for some reason I just can't get it to work now. For some reason, it just it doesn't want to reverse neatly and carry on. It just wants to turn itself around as opposed to reversing, which yeah, it's quite frustrating. But hey ho. And those of you keen-eyed viewers will notice that halfway through that montage, this thing gained a new front weight, because the TW35 needed a front weight because it was essentially driving along on its front wheels because of the weight of the stones. The front weight that came with this thing just wasn't heavy enough, so I got rid of that. I bought that one to stick on the back of this, but because of the positioning of it, it was sitting like it was sat halfway into the rear wheels. So I had to do a swap and put the front weight off that onto this. Blah 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 blah. You see where I'm going with this? So essentially, I put this new front weight onto here. And it's kind of cool because it just still plays with tractors on the front of it, so I really quite like that. Anyway. Right, long waffle over, job done, cultivation done. So now we need to run the roller in the canola field. To roller the canola, which we're going to get done. Now I don't know whether it really makes any much of a difference, but I need to fertilise that field as well. So I'm going to run some slurry in that field. Hopefully get rid of a good chunk of our slurry, maybe even all of it. I'm not too sure. So I think, do you know what? We'll do the slurrying first, shall we? Let's go and pick up the Renault, which is hooked up to the slurry tanker, and we'll see how far it goes, shall we? There we go. Now this is full at the minute. Let's get rid of that for now. Yeah, this tanker is full. 10.3 tons of slurry in here. Now, in fact, I'm going to need that F1 menu there, because this slurry tanker can be a little bit tricky to get going sometimes. It's got lots of different options. So, if I pull into the field, right, turn on. Oh, he says works first time. Okay, let's bring up the map PDA there so we can see what we're spraying down. Now, to me, let's just stop there for a second. There we are. Right, no, it's still saying bad nitrogen levels. I've got automatic application rate on. Okay, nitrogen reference value. Why won't it let me get the nitrogen level perfect? Alright, let's just turn that off for a minute, shall we? Change nitrogen reference level. Okay. I don't understand that. I'd be expecting to use up a lot of the slurry, but bring the nitrogen level up to exactly what we want it to be. Am I missing something here, viewers? Applying slurry amount depending on soil yield potential. Okay, so this doesn't necessarily bring, it's not applying to the canola, it's applying to the soil yield. Okay. Maybe that's that then, isn't it? Still, it's worth doing this, it's worth putting this down, because if I do have to spray fertiliser on top of this, I'll still have to use less fertiliser, and that's the bit that costs the money. The slurry hasn't cost a penny, has it? So I guess we'll just let it run its thing. We'll get this field slurried, as it were. And I suppose I will pick you all back up in a wee while when we've given it a bit of a coating. Well, that was a palaver, but I think I've understood now where I was going wrong. I have just finished off the fields. I'm in the Fent now with the fertiliser spreader. I did run the slurry tank throughout the whole field, but for love nor money, I couldn't figure out how to amend and alter the application rate. It just wasn't letting me change it above something like 15 cubic metres per hectare, I think, or something like that. Is it cubic metres I think it does it in? Not too sure. Kilograms, sorry, per hectare. And it was because I needed to deactivate the automatic application rate on the slurry tanker before I could amend the actual application rate. So that's where I was going wrong. So, anyway, ran the slurry in the field, did top a bit of it up, so I've used less fertiliser here. But what I need to do now is essentially get liming. Got a load of fields now that need topping up with lime. It won't let me unload there for some reason. But it will let me unload here, no doubt. Yeah, there, right. So, we're going to make good use of the lime that we have in the stone production facility thing, the lime production machine. We'll load this lot up. Why didn't that unload all the fertiliser? Oh dear. It's all going wrong today, isn't it? Why aren't you unloading? There you are. Right, I'll have to tidy those up manually in a minute. I think you've got to have a huge amount of space around you before it'll let you unload things for some reason. Anyway, right. Get this topped up with these bags here, and we'll top it right up to 100%. Now all the fields that we're going to be doing today... Oops, bump. With the lime the levels are still pretty good. They're I'll show you in a second actually in the PDA, but they're all relatively green. But they just need a good topping up essentially, don't they? So hopefully, if I open the cover there, I do need to activate this application rate. There we go. Right. So we're going to start round the corner at the field behind Valley View Bales, field 110. Essentially we've got that one to do, we've got that one to do, that one down there, and the big oat, what was the big oat field, and what was the canola field, field 59, down at the bottom there. So hopefully this land won't be too thirsty. Right. Let's see how far one tank gets us, shall we? And as per usual, I will pick you all up in hopefully no more than 15-20 minutes or so when we've got it all done. So I'll see you shortly. There we go. All limed. Didn't take too long. And we do have quite a decent backlog in lime machine stone crushy thing there, so very handy that we've got that on tap. So what's next to do? We need to run the field roller down there in field 109, the field that we just stuck slurry in. In fact, we need to wash this off first because this is meant to be green. Let's give it a quick hose down. So yeah, while I'm doing this, can anyone then, who no doubt plenty of you know a hell of a lot more than I do when it comes to all this, but going back to the slurry spreading, I had the activation rate set to automatic initially, so I would have assumed it would have topped up that canola field with whatever level of nitrogen the canola needed. But the automatic application rate was set to like 15 kilograms per hectare, and canola needed a lot more than that. It was something like 180 or 200 kilograms a hectare. Now, I appreciate that would have gone through the slurry really, really quickly. I get that. But does anyone know why when it's set to automatic application rate, that it doesn't, you know, put the numbers right up as opposed to having them right down? Because I could have, once I'd realised that when I deactivated the automatic application rate, I was then free to manually increase the application rate, sorry, much higher than the 15 that it was set to. Or am I just doing it wrong? Should I really just be using slurry and manure spreading just purely for things like grass? Is that right, or is it a silly idea to be using slurry and or manure to fertilise cereal crops? Please let me know in the comments, everyone. I'd very much like to know, because if I need to stop wasting my time essentially trying to consider putting a little bit of slurry or manure onto a cereal crop, then I'll just forget it and I'll just use the normal fertiliser spreader. So anyway, yeah, as I say, if anyone knows more than I do, which is almost a 100% certain, please let me know. I appreciate that ahead of time. Right, so we're just going to stick this here for now. We shall go back over here and pick up the 7810. We'll hook up to the field roller, and I think I'm going to pop this job as well into a little bit of a cinematic and get it done. There we are. Let's get ourselves around here. And the other thing I think I need to have a look at is this auto drive network, onwards from what I mentioned before about the auto drive behaving a bit funny with that when it came to tipping into the stone machine and then turning round. Like I said, frustratingly, it worked absolutely flawlessly when I had it running in the field, coming back in two. But as soon as I wanted to show it to you guys, just running in action, it was just having absolutely none of it. So yeah, I think I might have a mass rethink and a complete re-network of the auto drive course around this farm, because I'm starting to feel a little bit like it needs changing, especially when it comes to running around the back of this barn here, for example. I'm sure there are better ways I could do it. Right, anyway, let's get this thing here unfolded. It does take a few seconds, this, but I do love this roller. So yeah, we'll get this put up into a cinematic, and I shall pick you all back up very shortly. There we go. One rolled field of canola. All done. Excellent stuff. So, that's now this field completely done now for this growth. Just got to wait for harvest time now. So I think what I'm going to do now, I'm pretty sure I've got quite a few pallets of honey here. What we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 and a bit. I suppose not quite as much as I thought, but it's still 4 and a bit pallets. I think we've got about the same of wool. And I believe we've actually got a couple of pallets of bread ready to pick up as well down at the bakery. And we've got the pallets, a pallet and a bit of eggs over at the chickens as well. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to load everything up onto the trailer. I'll just stick this in here for now. Shall deal with that later on. But yeah, I think we're going to jump in the trusty Renault with the ghost of me sat in there still. I'll hook up the trailer. And another cool thing I realised about this tractor, well, it does full speed in reverse. I don't know. The little things, eh? But yeah, I only just realised that a few moments ago. It's pretty cool. Anyway, right. Let's get the trailer hooked up. We'll go and pick up the honey, the eggs, the lettuces and the bread, and we're going to run them over to the garden centre actually, because they seem to be paying top dollar for several of those products at the minute. So it'll be worth a trip over there. Go see what we can make back. So we're not doing all right. We're not doing too bad. Sorry, we've got 41 grand in the bank, just over 41.5 grand actually. I suppose a sensible thing would be for me to pay off a little bit of the loan. I suppose that would be a half sensible thing to do, wouldn't it? Pay off 10 grand of it maybe. I don't actually know if paying off the loan bit by bit might reduce the monthly payment. I don't think it'll do that, will it? But it's worth doing anyway. It means we can pay it off sooner. I did kind of have an intention of doing that. Yes, I think we're paying 2,000 and something a month for the loan. But I did have a plan in the back of my mind that as soon as a few extra quid came into the bank, we'd chip away at it and get it gone sooner rather than later. As I say, this is the first time I've ever got a loan on this game, so yeah. I suppose it is sensible to pay it off early, if possible. Less interest at the end of the day. Not that it was going to be much. It was going to be, I think, overall we were going to be paying, I think, about just under 3.5 grand for the privilege of getting the loan. So it's not too bad, is it? Right, so let's go grab some wool now. See if we can get around here without embarrassing myself, shall we? And why is my tractor just got... Oh, there we go. It wasn't responding then. There we go. 3 and a bit pallets. Okay, that's not too bad. Right. One. 2. And 3. There we go. Let's get them strapped on. Excellent stuff. Oh, no. I did it again, didn't I? Forgot the eggs. Did that last time when I said I was going to go and sell a load of pallets. Not going to forget them this time. Right. There's one. Just balance on top of there for now, can't you? Do those straps. There's that one. Go down the other side, actually. No, maybe not. There we go. Right, I'll go and load up the lettuces because there's a couple of those at each tunnel there, so that'll take me a few moments. No, I'm going to bore you to death with that. So we'll go grab all them, and I'll pick you back up when we're on the route to the garden centre. Right, here we are. Just round the corner anyway. Let's see how much money we can make, shall we? Out to this view, and then... Whoa, that went quick. Goodness me. The eggs are broken. I don't think those eggs are going to sell if they're on this side, are they? 13,000, 14... That's it. There we go. Come on. Nice. That'll do. Just under 58 grand. Yeah, that'll do just fine. Happy with that. Please forgive the jump cut there, as it were. I just made a bit of a mistake. I was that previous bit of footage went forward, and I paid off 10 grand of the loan. But as I was pressing the keyboard buttons, I pressed the stop recording button unwittingly. I didn't realise it's my number pad on the bottom right hand side of my keyboard. I used that to type in 10,000 to pay off 10 grand off the loan, and the 0 button is my shortcut for my OBS for switching off the recording. So I'd gone and yeah, halfway through turned off the recording. So silly mistake. Apologies everybody. But yes, we've paid off 10 grand of the loan. So I'm happy with that. It doesn't reduce the monthly repayment unfortunately. We're still paying £2,082 for the loan, but we now only own 58,000 something left on the loan now. So that's it's all good. It's all good. So, and I think in total from all of that, I totted it up, and we've just sold everything there at about 14,700 quid. So that'll do for me just fine. Right, anyway, so I think I am going to call it here for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. I do hope you've enjoyed the video and found it a bit of fun and a bit interesting. Oh, bump that. If you're new to the channel and you like my content, you like the way I do things, please consider hitting that subscribe button, giving the video a like if you can, if you have liked it of course, and if any of you have got any comments or suggestions for me, please leave them in the comments section below. And if you're in the market for any of the DLCs or the game's add-on packs, or even the full game itself, or any of the season passes, there's links in the video description below with my promo code there. If any of you fancy helping out a content creator there, I would be hugely appreciative. So as always, everyone, thanks again for your time, for watching the video. I do hope you've enjoyed it, and I shall see you in the next episode.